How many people here know that Bill Finger was involved in the creation of Batman?
It's on?
Then this award is working.
It says record.
The idea, which was hatched by Mr. Finger's good friend Jerry Robinson, was that since the name of Bill Finger cannot appear on Batman for technical reasons, we'd put it on an award. Each year, it goes to two writers, one posthumously, who created a splendid body of work in comics, but did not quite receive their due, either in terms of recognition or financial reward. Some, of course, didn't receive either. This award is selected each year by a Blue Ribbon Committee and is sponsored by, cue the graphic, the good folks at DC Comics, which is its major backer, with additional sponsorship from the good folks over at Heritage Auctions, and the good folk who is Maggie Thompson. This year, the judges decreed a special all-duck finger category, the Senate ceremony. Both recipients have done comics that didn't quack or molt. Both gave us memorable work with waterfowls. We start with Steve Gerber, whose Howard the Duck story, Steve Gerber, whose Howard the Duck story starred one of the most unique and personal characters of the 70s. Steve was from St. Louis where he dabbled in fanzines and then journalism before deciding his calling was comics. He went on to work for Marvel in 1972 and worked on many of their major ongoing comics. To each he brought something new and different, especially on Man-Thing and on a strip he created with his friend Mary Screenis, Omega the Unknown. Howard was his big hit, but it led to lawsuits and a battle over creator rights that had a lasting impact for the better, and not just on the comics Steve wrote. We lost him in 2008 to pulmonary fibrosis, but we will never lose his wonderful work. Steve was one of my best friends and a nicer, more devoted man you've never met. It is a pleasure to present a Bill Finger Award with his name on it and hand it to his daughter, Samantha. Samantha?
Thank you so much. I'm so proud to receive this for my dad. To Mark personally, on a personal level, I'd like to thank him and Mary for being such great friends to my dad. They were really true friends all the way through to the end, and I know that meant a lot to him. Thank you so much. I miss my dad very much, but knowing that what he created lives on forever makes it just a little bit easier. I'm so proud to say that Steve Gerber is my dad. Thank you very much, everybody.
It's recording right now? Yeah. Okay.
Like our other recipient, Don Rosa got his start in fanzines. His work on Disney Ducks prompted this award, but some of us will never forget the Willoughby Papers and Captain Kentucky, which preceded them. Unlike most Finger recipients, Don has not lacked recognition, at least in other countries. Overseas, his tales of Donald Duck and Uncle Scrooge are hailed and reprinted constantly, often in deluxe volumes with the name of Rosa emblazoned bigger than that of any duck. One of these days, America will catch up there, but there are still a lot of us who appreciate the painstaking research and thought that went into Don's stories. Why he qualifies for the Finger is that because the financial rewards for his work were never quite up to parity with the publishers and the Disney I should read this beforehand, with what the publishers and the Disney organization made off it. Created work that will be reissued forever, but they wouldn't pay him on that basis. In recognition of all that, it is an honor to present the Bill Finger Award to Mr. Don Rosa.
I certainly thank Mark and the judges, but I'd also, your indulgence, since this is an award about recognition of comic book professionals, I'd like to thank a person I think is more responsible than anybody else for enabling a vast number of comic book professionals around the world to gain recognition. This is a guy who founded the world's tiniest Walt Disney publisher, Walt Disney comic publisher in the little town of Prescott, Arizona in 1986. And although Disney forbid for the freelance writers and artists, people who didn't even work for them, they forbid their names to be ever mentioned in the comics published by independent publishers. But this guy knew that that was counterproductive and plain stupid, because because when you give the names of the writers and artists, the readers have a more personal link with them, and the comics get even more popular and more successful. So despite Disney's wishes, he went ahead and published the writers, artists, letterers, colorists, and everything. Now, the major Disney publishers, some of you do know that Disney comics are still the world's best-selling and most popular comic books around the world, except in North America. The biggest publishers in Europe and South America, they noticed the success of this tiny little company in Prescott. And they saw the error of their ways, and within 6 to 8 years, every Disney publisher around the world was also giving the names of this vast number of writers and artists of the world's best-selling comic books. So I'd just like to accept this award in his memory and give my thanks. Oh, I should say this is one of the founding fathers of this hobby. That big room over there is filled with things that he was in whole or in part responsible for, like limited collector's editions and figurines and price guides and slab comics. That's a good thing. But anyway, I'd like to accept this award in his memory with my thanks to the late, great Bruce Hamilton.
Bill Finger Award for Excellence in Comic Book Writing. Here to announce this year's recipients is writer Mark Avenir. Our next presenter has had a varied career as